Hello, everybody. Uh, I just wanted to take a look at a new book I got. Thought I'd do a review of this game. I got it from Exalted Funeral, and I got it on the what do you call it? The Black Friday deal. I want to give a shout out to them. I actually ordered the book before the Black Friday because they notified me about the sale, and so I paid full price for it, and then I emailed them and said I had made a mistake, and they were kind enough to give it to me at the sale price, so I really appreciate that. So anyway, I just saw this book online on Exalted Funeral, and they produce a lot of really good stuff, and I thought, well, I'll just order it. It's on sale, Black Friday, why not? Splurge a little bit. And I'm glad I did. It's really interesting. I was surprised by the artwork. The artwork's quite unique. It's very stylized. Kind of I don't know really how to describe it. But it's consistent throughout the entire book. And I was surprised at first I was a little taken aback by it, but I think it's alright. I think it suits the style of the game alright. So I read through it. One thing that impressed me about this book is, let me just move this. One thing that impressed me about this book is the quality of it. It's really nice quality. But a lot of stuff from Exalted Funeral is. And very substantial, well-made, very well-made book. So I really appreciate that. One thing I wish it had, however, is I wish it had a cloth bookmark. I kind of missed that. As you can see, I had to use my own bookmarks in here. But other than that, top marks for quality book. So the game itself is kind of interesting. It reminds me a little bit of, what do you call it? Apocalypse. The Apocalypse game. In that it doesn't really have a genre. You can play it in any genre you like. And I find that really interesting. I don't think I'd run a very long campaign with it, but I think it'd be really suitable for a medium-length campaign. And you can set it in science fiction, you can set it in fantasy, horror, you can set it in whatever you want. One thing I really like about it is it has this concept of a doomsday clock, where sort of in real time, and also there's some randomness to it too. Slowly, the end of the game is coming closer and closer. And so the heroes in the game have to try and defeat the doom before the doom strikes. But you really don't know. Even the game master doesn't really know when the doom is going to strike, as it moves, so it comes closer with time. And real time, like the clock on the wall time. So you have so much time to sort of conquer the doom. And I thought that was kind of a neat concept. I kind of wish I hadn't read this book. Just sort of there's a game idea I'm working on. This works too well with it, unfortunately. So I'm gonna have to rethink what I was working on. But anyway, it's nice. It's nice. I really like it. And then sort of in between the dooms, like between the start of the game and the doom, you have things called omens, and those are sort of like subplots that you have to try and get over as the doom starts getting closer. It's a little bit of a how would you say, a flibbity-gibbet game, I would say. It's not really like an OSR game. It's not really like a D&D game. You don't have things very set out. It's more, things are more up in the air than that. And the idea isn't that you'll create an adventure. The idea is that you'll create a doom. You'll create omens. You'll try and figure out sort of how they tie together. And you'll sort of play to find out what happens with that. And it's interesting. If your character gets killed, you can actually choose whether your character just dies and you roll up a new well, they don't call them characters, they call them hero, but you roll up a new hero, Or you can keep your hero playing, but your hero gets debilitations. I really like that. I think that that's a really nice concept. So the skills themselves are interesting. They basically work, they call them as having, I think, thresholds. So you use a d6 to resolve skills. They've got thresholds. The thresholds, basically, it's your n in 6 system. 3 and 6, 2 and 6, whatever. And it has this system of modifying that in order to make things more or less complicated or whatever. It's okay. It's okay. I mean, it's adequate. The one thing that I do really like about this game, and I'll show you the character sheet here, is the idea of bonds. I don't believe you start out with any bonds, but as you build bonds, there's certain actions that you can do, and you build bonds, and the bonds, you can later on use those to give yourself bonuses and to get bonuses and things to your rolls. So I thought that was a really neat idea, too. It sort of really helps promote the idea of players playing together. At first I thought, well, I'll probably never play this game, but as I read more and more into it, and I got further into it, I decided, actually, I probably would. In fact, I do want to play this game. I would very much like to try playing this game, because it's really interesting, and like I say, it's got some interesting concepts in it, like the Doomsday Clock, like the bonds, and doesn't really have a world. You're just supposed to play whatever you feel like that night, or, set up the game to play whatever you want. Science fiction, medieval, horror, like I say. I really like that idea. It's kind of a universal kind of a game. Although, I would say because of the spells and stuff that it has, there's a certain amount of... there is a certain flavor to it, but I mean, that can't really be helped, right? So here's the skill checks. This is how skill checks work. And then you've got difficulties: easy, difficult, very difficult, impossible. So you've got +1, 0, -1, -3, -2 to your rolls. That's to your threshold. And you have to roll your 6-sided die under the threshold number, I believe. Yeah. So anyway, I thought I'd just do a quick thing. It's from Exalted Funeral. Like I say, it's kind of a universal game. I really like it. I'm going to actually roll up a character just for the fun of it. That's always my favorite way to try out a new game or to get familiar with it. So I figure, what the heck, I'll roll it up in a video just for the heck of it. And see what happens. So one thing that's really interesting, see, already I'm going to be talking about some of the stuff that's kind of neat. One thing that I find really interesting about the game is it gives two possibilities. You can either build the character by making choices and deciding, or you can build the character randomly. So it uses 6-sided dice. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do it randomly. But bear in mind that you don't have to do it randomly. But it gives the option for random, and that's sort of how I'm going to go here, is just with the random. So it's got basically 3 stats. Well, I guess 5 stats if you include blood and guts, which is sort of like hit points but broken up. But it's got creativity, careful, and concerted. And so the way that you can do those is, see, now as you'll see here, you can assign 0, +1, and +2. That's the approach, or you can roll randomly. Roll 1d6, distribute that many points to your approach scores. So I think that's what I'm going to do, because I kind of like rolling things around. I'm going to use a marker. I wouldn't recommend doing that, but I'm just doing that so it's easier for you to see. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to roll. Okay, so I got 3 points. So I don't really... I think that I will just play it safe and just give 1 in each one, like that. Isn't that creative? Yeah. Because I do know, I can read what these do. Skills using creative approach are performance in interesting, unusual, and surprising ways. Cleverness also applies to creative skills. Skills using a careful approach utilize close attention to detail, analyzing variables, and ensuring the action does not trigger any unwanted consequences. And concerted approach exemplifies effort, willpower, and obstacles. Is surmountable when you have to drive to success. Now, one thing I thought was kind of neat about this is in a lot of RPG games, they give you abilities, but then they expect you to role play them and to how shall we say, have those skills sort of yourself, if you know what I mean. So if you're going, not with all skills, like for example, if you have a skill like lock picking, you're not expected to be good at lock picking. You don't know how to pick locks, but you just make a roll. But then with something like diplomacy, you're supposed to be good at diplomacy, but you're going to get sort of suckered into role playing a little bit for the diplomacy, if you understand what I mean. At which point the diplomatic skills of the actual player may come into account. This sort of skirts this. I mean, you could be dumb as a stump, but you could have high creative or high careful, and you can just say, well, my character figures it out. I have no idea. I like that, actually. It's kind of a neat way of looking. It's kind of a neat way of doing it. So it kind of lets you off the hook. You don't have to actually have any of the skills that your hero's supposed to have. Your hero actually just has them, and you can just say. And they give an example of that in here. They don't put it in those terms, but that's basically the gist of it. All right. So the blood and the guts. How does that work here? Right. Okay, so guts. Okay, so guts is measure the hero's ability to withstand mental or social harm. Oh yeah, this is a very woke game. As you can tell right from there, right? So yeah, it's very woke, but oh well. And then blood is so you roll 2 6-sided dice, and you add. Okay, so I roll for my modifier. So I roll 1d6 for each modifier. That's right. So I got a +1 there for blood, and for my guts, I get a 6. All right, and then. One thing that I find kind of interesting is that it says max here, but I believe that's for your daily, because you roll this every day, or you can roll this. You roll this, and if you get injured, you can either heal up, or you can choose to roll it again and still add your modifier. So if you got a really bad roll, I'd say 10's not bad. It's above average, right? Ooh, I'd say that one's really good. What am I at? 17 here. All right. So this character, player name, I don't know. I don't know what kind of a name I should give this character. All right. So that's that there. And so now you move on to the assigning skills. And the skills, these are all the different skills. So you can roll 2d6 and distribute that many skill ranks to any skill of your choice. All right, so this time I've rolled a 9. So I get 9 skills. So I'm just going to do it randomly because I prefer random characters anyway. So we've got 5 and a 2. So a 5 and a 2 is +1 insight. Yeah, all right. So where is insight? Insight. So we've got a +1 insight. I guess 3 is the maximum you can go. I don't know. All right. So that's 1 point gone. So I'm at 8 now. Whoops. First die is a 6 and a 4. So 6 and a 4. And there is no 6 and 4. Why is there no 6 and 4? Alright. I think that's a 4. I think we found a typo. That's what it looks like to me. Alright, so I get +1 trade. So +1 trade, so I've got 7 more points. Roll again here. A 4. A 4. Yeah, see, now look at this. This should be 4s, right? There's a 4. Oh, no, those are 4s. It's very hard to see. Those are actually 4s. Okay. And a 3. So +1 observe. Wow, I'm getting a whole mix of skills here. Alright. A 5 and a 3. So 53 +1 acrobatics. This is a jack of all trades, this character. Alright. A 3 and a 1. A 3 and a 1. +2 artistry. Alright. Artistry. Alright. And then a 6 and a 2. 6 and a 2 +1 survival. Alright. And then a 5 and a 5. 5 and a 5 +1 physique. And last roll. 5 and a 2. +1 insight. And I already had 1 insight, but there we go. Alright, so I'm done with that. Alright, so I've got 1 observe, 2 insight, 1 acrobatics, 1 physique, 2 artistry, 1 survival, 1 trade. Yeah, that's kind of neat. Alright, so the other thing that's interesting is the inventory. Ah, that's what it was. It's the inventory that was a 12. Alright. That's where I went. If you're wondering what I'm doing, I'm just keeping track over here. Okay, so with the inventory, I find this one really interesting. You've got 5 different things. You've got damage, defense, supplies and sundries, oddities and variables, spells and techniques. And you can sort of pick from these tables to roll from them. So I'm going to do the 12 dice system, but you can also, there are different methods. They've got 2 different methods. You can determine it by spending 30 points and just buying the items from each table, or you can use 12d6. You get 12 dice, and then you can roll up to 3 dice if you want, and or 1 or whatever, but the total dice cannot be more than 12. And the reason that you would roll 3 is because some of the stuff up here is really quite powerful. So I think if you wanted to min-max your character more, you'd want just the 30 points and just to buy. Having the 12 dice and paying with 3 dice, hoping that you get that, you know, say the 18 flaming sword +3 blood damage. I mean, that sounds pretty awesome, right? But you're not going to get it by rolling 3 6-sided dice, right? It's just not going to happen. But anyway, just to start off with, let's try that. All right. So as you can tell, so I've just used 3 dice, and I rolled a 9, so I've got confidence. +1 guts damage, and +1 guts defense. All right. Sorry, it's way down there, right? Okay, let's pick another one here. How about oddities and valuables? I'll pick 3 dice again. All right, so I've spent 6 dice now, so I don't get a lot more rolls. 5. Let's see here. 10. Constantly glowing silk dress. Okay, I have a glowing silk dress. Yeah, see what I mean? It's a little bit of a strange game. Okay, but I have a glowing silk dress. Alright, so now but it's got some interesting things to it. So I'm not ready. I'm not ready to not try it at least, right? I will try it. All right, I'm going to spend 2 dice this time. I rolled a 9. Burn the past. Remove the past hour's event from someone's memory. All right, so I have a spell, and it is burn the past. Okay. And let's go for another spell. Not the same spell. Okay. 7. Okay, so this will bring me up to, I've spent 10 dice. Unmask the self. Unmask the self. Let's see, what is unmask the self? Know the name and hidden desire of any one being you see. Oh, that's interesting. Alright, look at my chicken scratch. I should have been a doctor. Alright, so 2 more dice. These are my last 2 dice. Or I could roll 1 die each and just... But I'm going to roll 2 dice just get this over with. 10. Alright. Heart Piercer. Oh, I got that one in my last one, too. Alright, so this is a technique. Heart... Heart Piercer. Alright. Alright. So there we go. I never did come up with a name. My pronouns. Sorry. My pronouns. What would my pronouns be? Well, I don't know. I've got a glowing dress, so I have a feeling this is a female character. So I guess it would be her. But anyway, player name. Let's make it player name. Gertha. What makes them different? Has 2 sets of ears. Okay. 3 rumors believed by. 3 rumors believed by. What is that? There are 3 rumors about Gertha. She hates chocolate. That's certainly not true. She hates chocolate. What else? Her uncle was a spider. All right. I don't know if that's true or not. I don't know who believes it. I don't have room for that. So, what else can we put in here? Somebody thinks she's a heavy-duty mechanic. She's a heavy-duty mechanic. All right, there's the other theory about her. Somebody thinks Gertha's a heavy-duty mechanic. Most painful lesson. Okay, so I'm actually supposed to share this with the other players. That's interesting. And most painful lesson. Oh wow, I don't know. Well, don't spit against the wind. All right, don't spit against the wind. There we go. All right. Anyway, there's my character. Oh, player name. That's player name. All right, this is her name. All right, Gertha. That's my name. All right. Oh, I wonder if these are her pronouns or my pronouns. I don't know how this shit works. All right, but anyway, her name is Gertha. Gertha Brandowise. Yeah, there we go. That's suitably. Maybe she's like a halfling. That sounds almost like a halfling, right? Gertha Brandowise. All right, anyway, that's the end of my video. I actually like this game. I think it's pretty cool. I think it's actually pretty cool. I want to give it a go. I want to try playing it. It's not, it's got some really unique stuff to it. So I look forward to playing it, actually. It will be interesting. Yeah, and then it's got lots of alternatives in the background, creating custom characters and adversaries and stuff. It's got a lot more stuff to it. So that's basically the basics. Thanks for watching the video, and yeah, thanks for hanging out, and I'll talk to you later. Take care.